Good to have you on, brother.
Good to finally meet in person.
Well, I wanted to have you on specifically because you're a pretty interesting guy, and everybody can tell that you mog everybody with your frame. So I wanted to just ask you about that. Maybe shed some light on lifting and just other topics,
Such an open-ended question. So I enjoyed lifting because, we used to play ball, and when you stop playing ball, you're not active. It takes a toll on your body. All of a sudden you wake up, you can barely fit in this chair anymore. So I liked lifting because it was kind of how I replaced basketball, if you will. And I'm so much more creative when I lift, and it helped me tremendously mentally. So I think the world of lifting, I think everyone should do it in some form or fashion.
What really got you into lifting? Like, what stopped you from playing basketball, or how was the relationship? What was the actual inspiration when you first started really going hard in the gym?
Pretty shallow, probably like most guys. I thought I was going to get women. I didn't really get women. Got a lot of dudes, but and I'm being serious.
That's how it is.
I mean, the female gaze isn't what the male gaze is, and I thought I was appealing to the female gaze, and I accidentally appealed to the male gaze. But I just, what was the question?
Like the male, like the gaze, or
Gaze.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Was there any specific person or Ronnie Coleman or anybody like that was meh? Now that I'm lifting and I haven't gotten women yet, but I still want to keep lifting. Was there anybody like that, or?
It's a good question. I didn't necessarily have any inspiration. I follow random guys on TikTok, like TNF. Shout out JPG Fitness is a good one, if you know who he is. He's this Asian guy. He's pretty buff. He tore his pec as well, which is very relatable for me personally. So, just random guys on TikTok.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too, because you have a weird sort of strategy when it comes to lifting that I wanted to really get into, and we've bullshitted and talked about this all the time, and we clown you for it. But first of all, how long have you been lifting?
Started New Year's resolution 2021.
So 5 years?
More or less.
So really 2.5 years, right? Because you don't hit legs. Is that right?
I mean, yeah, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but there's a reason I'm wearing sweats.
Where did that, how did you get onto that? You started lifting and then you just didn't want to hit legs. Did you try it once and you're just fuck that, or what was that?
I've tried hitting legs twice. I have had knee surgery. I had, I'm not even going to try to explain it. ACL, MCL, meniscus. It's just I have a cartilage issue. I chipped off a piece of cartilage in my knee about the size of a quarter, and I had surgery right after high school, which is part of why my hoop dreams died. But that gives me issues. I tried Bulgarian split squats once, and then I was I'm not training legs ever again.
But see, and this is our friend group will always get on you for this because you've had other injuries, and in my mind there's some correlation to overall body health that relates to that in some way. Just I don't know, that's just my thing. I'm not super into lifting, obviously, but will you ever hit legs in your life? Is that something you will never ever do?
I will never hit legs. I have an Instagram and a TikTok, and people thought I was being satirical, and I kind of was, because Top Heavy Nate, that was what they called me in college at the rec. But I lived it out, and I internalized it. It is a core value of mine. I will never hit legs, and it's almost a moral issue for me, to the point where I feel I am compromising on my morals if I train legs. So that's why I swear by push, pull, rest.
So if somebody were to let's say there's a 15-year-old kid, scrawny ass little dude, comes up to you, sees that you're big and strong, you're going to tell him, whatever you do, don't hit legs. Is that for everyone, or is that just kind of you?
Works for me, and if it works for me, I'm going to swear by it, so I think it's for everyone.
Talk about the injuries. Like, you tore. What happened?
I tore my bicep. That would have been July of 2024. I had surgery September of that year. And it's February 2025. I'm mostly rehabbed at this point. I was in this horrible brace, and I could barely sleep in it. I was locked in at 90 degrees. It was range of motion restricting. It was literally torture. But anyways, fast forward February, 5-6 months.
What was the movement that you were doing? Like, you probably said I passed it, but what were you doing? Like, what was the machine that you were doing?
So a lot of people have probably seen that guy doing preacher curls on the machine, and he snaps both biceps, and people are like really scared of preacher curls. But I actually did it. I was hitting lats. I was in a supinated grip, pull down, and I felt a pop. And, I ignored it. It hurt pretty bad, and I went and played basketball, or rec league.
Yeah, we played basketball kind of like the very same day, or was it the next day?
It was like 2 hours later, same day.
And then something in the game actually just made it worse, right?
I made it like 15 minutes in. I get a layup, and I'm a pretty explosive guy, so I get a rebound trying to go up, and like my whole bicep just seized up, and it was like this cramping feeling, and it hurt really bad.
How long did it take you to, and you're not fully recovered from it, but how long did it take to get back to the gym, going through rehab and all that?
Well, I was mostly rehabbed in February 2025, and then we went to the gym earlier. He actually did the same machine, but I was being stupid, and I was arching my back on this chest press, and I was like really trying to get a good stretch at the bottom. And I came back too far, and my pec just snapped. So
that's crazy, dude. So did you have to go under for the bicep surgery as well as the pec surgery?
2 surgeries in 6 months.
Damn. What were your thoughts, like genuine thoughts, going in? Like, were you praying? Were you like, I mean, that's fucking scary. I can't imagine. I've never done that. But what were the thoughts for the first one, and then the second one?
First surgery, I was so nervous. They took my blood pressure. It was 170 over 120. And the nurse is telling me, and I'm so nervous, and I'm telling everyone I'm nervous, to the point that they had to give me special drugs to kind of calm me down. The nurse is telling me, hey, your blood pressure's so high, you're going to be on dialysis if you don't get that under control. And that was like the last thing I need to hear. I was like, where's your bedside manner? But I was really scared going to the first one. By the second one, I'm like, whatever, dude, let's just cut me open, fix me. And it really wasn't too bad the second time around.
Do you remember any of the actual feelings, or was it just kind of like blank? You count down from 10 and then you're out like a light, or how does that work?
So I told you I was so scared the first time, but they gave me happy drugs in my IV. And the last thing I remember, they wheeled me into the operating room, and I'm like about to go out. The last thing I remember was I looked at everyone, all the like nursing crew, all the surgeons, and I said, I'm so happy to be here. And then I was done, and I woke up.
Oh, man. That's pretty good. But the second one didn't go like that. You're just chill. They didn't give you any drugs?
I mean, they knocked me out, cut me open. I was pretty chill going into it, though. I was like, I do this.
I guess overall, like, from your experience, give us like 1 or 2 points on the do's and don'ts. Like, what do you do to really just hit it hard, get results? What do you don't do? Like, what do you not do as far as lifting?
I mean, you got to get your protein. And at the end of the day, I think the best gym routine is something you enjoy, which is why I will swear by not hitting legs. Because I know if I'm having to train legs twice a week, I'm less likely to go to the gym. And, like, I was making progress until I got hurt. So I think finding something you enjoy, being consistent, and just sticking to it.
And then what's some advice as far as, like, the negative side of lifting, so you can, like, I guess, help other people not tear their pec and bicep as well?
I'm going to get a little bit deep. Obviously, I could speak about the physical aspect of getting hurt and how tough that is physically, but mentally it was even worse. because I'd trained my ass off for 3 years, and it becomes such a core part of my identity. And then I got hurt, and I felt like I lost that part of my identity. So I had to be very intentional when I couldn't lift, and I had to let myself go while I was rehabbing because I looked like shit. And it really took a toll on me mentally, but I had to be very intentional mentally to not let it affect me and to ultimately kind of revamp my identity to something to where I wasn't just defined by my body, by my looks, how much I could lift, where I realized I had other things I could offer as well.
That makes sense. When it gets too loud, then we gotta shut it down. Sorry, guys. I think if we talk like close, it'll be fine. What's your opinion on the current like looks maxing? Everybody wants to look good. You want to look good in the gym and stuff like that. Does it just like, is that something you should care about as a man, or I guess what are your genuine thoughts about just the looks maxing scene now?
I think it's good to an extent. Everyone should strive to be healthy, be attractive, be the best version of themselves. But if you're not careful, it just goes straight to vanity. Like, you have to, I don't even know how to articulate it. Like, you just can't be like, it's just a vanity at the end of the day. Some people take it to such an extreme where, yeah, it's good in moderation, look good, feel good, be confident. But if it becomes your core identity, I think there's a serious issue with that.
I guess, what are the things, maybe I don't know, like what are the things besides lifting, or just lifting weights that you could do to look good, feel good, and just impact those around you with your looks?
Impact those around me with my looks? I mean, I'm 6'5", I'm genetically blessed. I don't know. I think there's so much more to looks maxing than just the physical. I think you need to work on your mind, work on what you consume media-wise, and just be very conscious about the inputs, things you put into your mind, because that's ultimately going to impact yourself and everyone you interact with around you.
Very politically correct answer for sure. You're 6'5". How tall is your dad? How tall is your mom? At what stage were you like, I'm him, I'm tall, I'm mogging all of you? Like, when did that kind of set in?
I mean, I've always been tall, but you used to be tall too. Like, we're like 6th, 7th grade. We're both 5'7", 5'8", like we were him. But my dad's 6'5", his dad's 6'4", my mom's 5'10", his mom's 5'2". So I know it kind of caught up to you, man, but at the end of the day, I don't remember what you asked me.
Do you think that with all the looks maxing shit you could possibly do, like facial, bone structure, hair, males are wearing makeup now, but as far as height goes, do you think that's something you could actually do to like change your height? Like, let's say you got a 5'7" little guy and you're 16. Is there anything you could do to maybe change that?
I mean, at the end of the day, I believe a lot of it's attributed to genetics. You always quote that one Harvard study that says 80% of your height is genetics, but the 20% you can supposedly impact. So I guess in theory, eat your fruits, eat your veggies, sleep. I mean, what else can you really do? Like, you know?
I think sleep is like the number one thing you could ever do as a teenager that'll actually get you results. If you just like put it to the side or you don't care about it, then if you're not intentional, I feel like, then you're not going to get the results, obviously. But it does come down to like proper habits, and nobody wants to do the habits because like you just want to have fun and stuff like that. But everybody likes to say that it just doesn't matter when it comes to like dating and actually going into the workforce or whatever you're doing. It's like, if you're a tall guy, shit, you already command some respect, right? What's that been like for you as far as like comments or just like the amount of interactions that you've had that are attributed to your height?
It's a good question. I work in corporate America. I won't touch on my job too much for compliance reasons, but at the end of the day, there are studies. People that are taller are probably perceived better. They make more money. Women. I mean, at the end of the day, it's good to be tall, but if you aren't tall, well, there's other things you can do. Height isn't the end-all, be-all, in my opinion, but I'm also speaking as someone that's 6'5".
That's fair. Talk about dating and like just the current scene. And I'm married, so I'm like, I guess 2-3 years removed from the game. But I guess, what are you noticing? Is there any like noticeable changes in the current dating scene that you've seen that is like positive or negative?
It's a good question. Everything's so driven online. I'm speaking by someone that's on like 2, 3, maybe even 4 dating apps. So it's admittedly hypocritical, but everything's so online. I feel like it's so hard to meet someone in real life. Like in the past, when I'm meeting people, it's like I'd see this chick at the gym and, oh, there she is on Hinge, and we match and go out and it fizzles out, kind of rinse, wash, repeat. So, but everything at the end of the day is so online driven, and I wish it wasn't the case, but it kind of is.
Mm. What's some advice that you could give to actually impact dating? Like, what's some advice that you would give a female to actually, like, get in there and actually do some good for the dating scene? I said female.
You did. I mean, be just a freaking wholesome woman. Read your Bible, go to church, and that's going to appeal to a certain demographic that's going to be more likely to treat you well. Like, don't go clubbing. I know everything I'm saying is pretty generic, and maybe I go clubbing from time to time, but at the end of the day, you probably aren't going to find your significant other in a club, and if you do, you're going to end up divorced.
What's something that just really pisses you off when you're pursuing a female that they do to really just kill the fucking vibe?
Too friendly. I hate too friendly. That's kind of just a me thing, but that's not something that I think is attractive in a woman. That's just flirting with everyone, because then it makes you feel like you aren't special when you get that attention, because Stacy's talking to everyone, and you want Stacy to just talk to you. She's not.
Mm-hmm. There's a balance, though, between flirty and friendly, I think. And a lot of, like, women are super stuck up these days, too. So, like, what's been, like, some encounters that they're, like, super stuck up that really pisses you off? Have you ever had those, or is it just, like, overall we're super vibey and flirty and stuff like that?
I can't really necessarily point to a specific instance where someone did something, a woman in particular did something that pissed me off or was super unattractive. Nothing comes to mind, I guess. So I don't think I have a good answer to that.
Should males 15 to 20 even focus on women, in your opinion?
There's the garden analogy. If you're a beautiful garden, the butterfly is going to come pollinate your flowers. So at the end of the day, you just got to build everything around you, be attractive, make money, prioritize looks to a certain extent, and in theory, you should probably do just fine with women, and I honestly subscribe to that belief.
Yeah, because so many times it's like you get locked onto one thing, you start... I think now men are more aware of simping and stuff like that, but I can just attest to, like, it easily, without you realizing it, becomes a distraction where you just devote all that attention to that person, and like if your priorities aren't straight, like you said, it's like pretty, like, it throws you off your game for sure. So I would say, like, don't even focus on it, you know? It's hard not to, but like the strength that you get from not focusing on it is pretty powerful, just in my experience. You're a basketball player. You were pretty good at rebounding, pretty good at dunking. It's pretty fun. I guess talk about, like, as an athlete or basketball player in general, like, why even go through the hardship of training and doing all that stuff? Like, would you recommend playing basketball like for other people, or is basketball just something you just put aside? It's not worth your time. Like, what is your thoughts on that?
I think it's good for the community aspect. I mean, I met you at that basketball camp when we were 12. Like, if I hadn't been playing ball, hadn't gone to that camp, we wouldn't even be sitting here right now. So I think the community aspect of it's huge, just the team bonding aspect. That's what I miss more than anything about competitive sports. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you can shoot, yeah, you can rebound, yeah, you can be athletic for a time, but that's inevitably going to go away, and most of us aren't going to the league anyways that are pursuing competitive basketball. So there's like, yes, you should focus on your craft, try to be the best you can be, but also realize it's not forever, and I think maximize the connections, the team building, the bonding, etc. that comes out of it, and kind of just take the good and leave the bad.
Interesting. Because everybody, like, all AAU coaches are like, if you want to get here, you just got to work hard. But that's bullshit at the end of the day, too. Like, not everybody's going to do that, first of all, but second of all, it takes more than just, like, working hard. I guess I wanted to do a little game with you. It's unrelated to your career. But thought of a game we could play, just kind of, you're pretty avid sports guy, sports fan. I want you to give me a one word to describe each player on my list here. And this is really important because it really just, you can see a lot through somebody based on these answers. First one is LeBron.
One word. Crybaby.
Dirk.
My hero.
Eric Dampier.
Aggressive.
Jared McCain.
Broody.
Jason Terry.
Robin.
Brittany Griner.
Vlad.
Cameron Brink.
Eye candy.
Angel Reese.
Missed layups.
That's 2 words.
I'm sorry.
Fair enough. I had these cigars that I brought as a little gift for you. You're into cigars, right?
I'm a chimney, dude.
These are Monte Cristos. They're okay. Definitely had better. You know how to smoke a cigar?
Sort of.
Let's try it.
Did you cut these?
I cut them.
Oh. Oh.
Do your own.
I'm gonna light my finger, dude.
It's a little flaky.
You think?
These are terrible. These are really bad.
Shout out Total Wine. How does this lighter work? My hand's sweaty, dude. Wow.
Every man should know how to smoke a cigar. As you try to do that, what are your thoughts on nicotine? Is it helpful, beneficial, addictive?
I mean, it's not addictive. I don't care what everyone says. I mean, I do it. I'm not addicted. So. I mean, I think it makes me creative. It makes me kind. I mean, I'm a huge advocate for nicotine regardless of your age. You like this, dude?
Let me help you. Put it in your mouth. Remember what
I had to suck and then...
Well, it's more of like a puff. It's more like you're pulling it into your mouth, and then you're just releasing the smoke.
We practice this off camera.
They're nasty. But don't, like, you don't have to, like, take the cigar out. Pull it into your mouth. That's awesome, man. Okay. Well, what else would you like to discuss on my very first podcast here?
Let's be controversial.
How so?
What are your thoughts on the obesity epidemic in America?
It's pretty wild when you go other places and nobody else is fat. And then you come back here and everybody is just Burger Kinging it up. It's really, it can easily be overcome for sure, but nobody really wants to fix it. Like it's too comfortable.
I mean, we were just in Europe. Everything's so walkable. They eat so many carbs, bakeries on every corner, but they still mock us as Americans. So I thought that was the most interesting part of being in Europe.
Do you think it comes down to diet or just like not being active enough or both? Or I don't think it's diet, because you can easily, everybody likes to blame like the process of how food works here compared to there, but it's like it's the activity as well.
I agree. At the end of the day, I subscribe to calories in, calories out. I believe everything's driven just by caloric consumption. And at the end of the day, maybe there are certain additives in American foods that maybe makes them more addictive, makes you more likely to want to indulge. But at the end of the day, I believe it's just calories in, calories out.
What about drinking? Do you drink?
Very rarely. I would say socially at best. I've never been into it. I know that you maybe try to get me into it, but...
I did not.
I mean, I'll enjoy Henny every now and then, but maybe a couple times a year and let my friends have fun and DD.
You've never been the designated driver.
It's because you're fearless. You'll drive anyways.
Okay. What would you say? You never did drugs as a kid. Was that just strictly because your parents would kick you out of the house if you did, or like you just never had the inkling to try anything? Or
I mean, I think we had similar upbringings. We were sheltered homeschool kids. That was not something you were supposed to do, but if something's so forbidden and so frowned upon, it honestly makes you want to do it that much more. For some people, not really for me, but it never had much appeal to me. I don't know if maybe you had a different experience or opinion that you would like to share, but that's just me sharing my own.
it's pretty interesting because it's like it's so popular and so easy to get now compared to back in the day, and everybody's talking about weed, shrooms, ketamine, coke, meth. It's pretty cool.
Especially like Clav doing Retta and whatever he does meth. He's wanting to have all these crazy jaw surgeries. That's where I'm like, dude, looks nice and is holy crap.
I think he doesn't do as much as he says he does. but not a lot of people realize like you're doing drugs daily, whether it's sugar or maybe reading your Bible, or you're getting some sort of fix on the daily. But what's been your experience with drugs related to your lifting career? And I guess, would you advocate for them? Would you try different ones? Like, what's your opinion on like steroids and stuff like that?
I used to want to juice. I've done some reflecting on why I wanted to juice, especially when I was hurt and I couldn't lift. I was like, why did I want to do that to begin with? And I think a lot of it's driven by ego and just vanity at the end of the day. I honestly do respect the sport of bodybuilding. They pour their hearts and souls into that, but at the end of the day, I think it's vanity and people ultimately struggling with their own identity that makes them want to take steroids that are literally designed for farm animals, like Tren, dude. That's what they inject into male cows, and they're traveling across the country and can't eat so they retain their size. And there are dudes at Gold's Gym and maybe even Absolute Recomp who are doing that in the locker room in plain view. I'm like, dude, what would make someone want to do that? And at the end of the day, I think it's all driven by insecurity.
As far as like, yeah, and you're starting to like get more into it now though because of your injuries. What is the different things that you're trying now? You're about to start like a peptide or something like that. What is that?
I am about to try BPC 157. It's a healing peptide, not a lot of human studies. It's derived from some sort of gastric acid in humans. I don't entirely know how they produce it. It's not FDA regulated. It's banned by any sort of natural bodybuilding associations, but at the end of the day, there have been certain studies that in lab rats it can help for like soft tissue injuries, nerve regeneration. So I'm at a point where with my bicep, I have like nerve damage and like I'll curl and I'll have like excruciating pain for days after, and it's really hard to make my body do what I want it to do. So that's why I'm open to peptides potentially, but steroids is where I would draw the line.
What's the worst thing that could happen with that though? Like, it's not tested or anything like that. Like, you're kind of being a guinea pig here, right?
Absolutely. There are really no long-term human studies. They've done one study on 12 different people. 7 people thought it helped them, 5 people didn't. And they've done it in a lot of lab animals. So, yes, you're being a guinea pig, but only once. You only live once. So, that's my take on it.
Well, this has been really fun. An experience. Appreciate you being my guinea pig on this little thing here. And enjoy the rest of your day.